Let me take you into the heart of what it means to desire, to want, to yearn for something so fiercely it feels like the very pulse of your existence. Carl Jung, one of the most profound thinkers of the human psyche, saw desire not as some fleeting whim or shallow craving, but as the very lifeblood of our inner world. He called it the libido, not in the narrow, modern sense of physical attraction, but as a primal, psychic energy that courses through us, driving our motivations, our dreams, our need to grow, to create, to become. Desire, in Jung's view, is the spark that sets the soul in motion. It's what pushes us to chase meaning, to seek connection, to wrestle with the mysteries of who we are and who we might become. But here's the thing about desire, it's a double-edged sword. It can light the path to your truest self, or it can lead you into a labyrinth of obsession and destruction if you don't wield it with awareness. So, let's unpack this together, because understanding desire, as Jung saw it, is like holding a map to your own soul. Jung believed that desire emerges from the unconscious, that vast, shadowy reservoir of instincts, archetypes, and untapped potential that lies beneath our everyday thoughts. Think of the unconscious as an ocean, deep and untamed, where currents of longing swirl, often taking the form of symbols, dreams of flying, visions of a distant shore, or even that ache for something you can't quite name. These aren't random. For Jung, these are the whispers of the psyche, guiding us toward individuation, the process of becoming whole, of integrating all the parts of ourselves, light and shadow, known and unknown, into a unified self. Desire is the engine of that journey. It's what compels you to ask, who am I, really? What am I here to do? It's the force that drives the artist to paint, the scientist to question, the parent to nurture, the seeker to wander. Without desire, we'd be stagnant, drifting through life without purpose or fire. But Jung didn't romanticize desire. He wasn't naive about its power. He saw how easily it can tip into excess, how it can pull us away from balance if we let it run wild. Imagine a fire. Controlled, it warms a home, cooks a meal, lights the way. Unchecked, it burns everything to ash. Desire works the same way. When we fixate on a single want, whether it's wealth, love, success, or even spiritual enlightenment, we risk losing ourselves to it. Jung warned that desire, when unconscious, can become a trap. It can tie us to illusions, to things we think will complete us but only leave us emptier. Have you ever chased something, a job, a relationship, a dream, only to find that when you got it, it didn't fill the void you thought it would? That's what Jung was talking about. He saw desire as a signal, not a destination. It's a clue to what your psyche is reaching for, but it's not the answer itself. So how do we harness this energy? How do we let desire guide us without letting it consume us? Jung's answer lies in consciousness, awareness, reflection, intention. He believed we must engage with our desires, not just blindly follow them. This means pausing to ask, why do I want this? What part of me is speaking? Is this desire pulling me toward growth, or is it masking a deeper fear, a hidden wound? Jung's concept of the archetypes helps us here. He saw the unconscious as populated by universal patterns, the hero, the lover, the sage, that shape our desires. When you feel a burning need to achieve something great, that's the hero archetype calling you to adventure. When you long for connection, the lover is stirring. By recognizing these patterns, you can start to see your desires as messages from your deeper self, not commands to obey without question. This is where Jung's brilliance shines. He didn't just tell us to suppress desire, like some rigid philosophies might. Nor did he say to indulge it without thought. Instead, he invited us to dance with it. To listen to it. To let it teach us. Desire, for Jung, is a bridge to the unconscious, a way to discover what's buried inside you. Maybe your longing for success is really a call to embrace your unique gifts. Maybe your yearning for love is a nudge to first love yourself, to face the parts of you you've pushed away. This is the path of individuation, using desire as a guide to integrate all aspects of your being, to become more fully you. Now, let's make this real. Think about a desire in your life right now. Maybe it's a career goal, a relationship, or even a quiet wish for peace. Ask yourself, what's driving this? Is it a true expression of your soul's longing, or is it tied to something external, approval, status, fear of missing out? Jung would urge you to sit with that question. To journal it, dream on it, meditate on it. He believed in active imagination, a practice where you engage with the images and feelings that arise from your unconscious. Try it. Close your eyes and picture your desire as a symbol, a flame, a river, a star. What does it say to you? What does it want you to see? This isn't just introspection, it's a conversation with your deeper self, a way to align your desires with your journey toward wholeness. This work isn't easy. It requires courage to face what's driving your wants, especially when they're tangled up with pain or fear. But Jung believed this is where transformation happens. When you bring consciousness to your desires, you start to see them not as ends in themselves, but as signposts pointing you toward your true self. You begin to move with purpose, not just passion. You start to live not just for what you want, but for who you are becoming. And here's where this connects to the bigger picture. Desire, when approached with awareness, doesn't just lead you to yourself, it helps you let go of the attachments that keep you stuck. That's the next piece of Jung's wisdom we'll explore, how clinging to external things, people, achievements, ideals, can block your path to wholeness. But for now, hold this truth, your desires are not the enemy. They're not something to fear or fight. They're messengers, calling you to wake up, to grow, to become. The question is, are you listening? So, as you walk away from this moment, I challenge you, don't just chase your desires, understand them. Let them be your teachers. Let them guide you to the deeper truth of who you are. Because when you align your longing with your soul's purpose, you don't just live, you thrive. And that, my friends, is the spark that can light up the world. Now, let's dive into the other side of this journey, attachment. If desire is the spark that sets our soul in motion, as we explored through Carl Jung's lens, then attachment is the anchor that can hold us back, keeping us tethered to illusions that block our path to wholeness. Jung, with his profound understanding of the human psyche, saw attachment not just as a habit or preference, but as a psychological trap, a way we cling to external things, people, or ideas, believing they'll complete us. He believed this clinging comes from a misunderstanding of ourselves, a refusal to face the deeper truths within. But here's the beautiful paradox Jung offers us: by letting go of these attachments, we don't lose ourselves, we find ourselves. So, let's unpack this together, because understanding attachment, and how to release it, is like unlocking a door to your truest, most liberated self. Jung's concept of attachment is deeply tied to his idea of projections. He taught that when we become overly attached to something outside ourselves, a relationship, a career, a status, even a spiritual ideal, we're often projecting parts of our own psyche onto it. We see in that person or thing something we think we lack, something we believe will make us whole. Have you ever poured your heart into someone, thinking they were your everything, only to realize later they couldn't fill the emptiness inside? Or maybe you've chased a goal, a promotion, a lifestyle, convinced it would define your worth, only to feel hollow when you got it. That's what Jung was getting at. These attachments aren't just about love or ambition, they're about what we're avoiding within ourselves. They're a distraction from the real work of individuation, the process of integrating all parts of who we are, light and shadow, into a unified whole. Jung believed the root of attachment lies in our refusal to face the shadow, that hidden part of the psyche where we tuck away our fears, insecurities, and unacknowledged desires. The shadow isn't just the bad parts of us, it's everything we've pushed out of sight, everything we don't want to admit about ourselves. When we cling to external things, we're often trying to outrun that shadow. Maybe you're attached to a perfect image of yourself because you're afraid to face your flaws. Maybe you're holding on to a relationship because it keeps you from confronting your loneliness. Jung would say these attachments are like mirrors, reflecting back what we're not ready to see. But here's the truth he wants us to grasp: the only way to move forward is to turn and face that reflection, to own it, to integrate it. This is where Jung's wisdom gets challenging and liberating. He didn't believe we should reject the things we're attached to in some cold, ascetic way. Instead, he urged us to understand why we're holding on so tightly. What are we projecting onto that person, that dream, that belief? For Jung, attachments often stem from complexes, those knots of unconscious emotions and memories that drive our behavior without us realizing it. When you feel that desperate need to hold on to something, that's a complex at work, a signal that some part of your psyche is crying out for attention. Maybe it's a fear of abandonment, a need for validation, or a wound from long ago. Jung's invitation is to pause, to look inward, to ask, what am I really seeking here? What part of me needs healing? This process isn't about cutting ties or renouncing the world. It's about loosening the grip, about finding freedom in how you relate to the things you love or want. Jung's goal of individuation isn't about becoming detached in some aloof, emotionless way, it's about connecting to the world from a place of wholeness, not neediness. When you're not clinging to external things to define you, you can love more fully, create more authentically, live more boldly. You're not chasing validation, you're expressing who you already are. This is what Jung meant by connecting to the collective unconscious, that vast, shared reservoir of human experience that links us all. When you let go of attachment, you tap into something bigger, something universal, something that reminds you you're never truly alone. Let's make this practical. Think about something you're attached to right now. Maybe it's a person, a goal, even an idea about who you should be. Ask yourself, what am I hoping this will give me? Security? Worth? Happiness? Now, imagine letting go, not of the thing itself, but of the need for it to complete you. Jung would encourage you to use a tool like active imagination here. Picture that attachment as an object, a chain, a box, a heavy stone. What does it feel like to hold it? What would it feel like to set it down? This isn't about abandoning what matters to you, it's about freeing yourself to engage with it from a place of strength, not desperation. This work is hard. Facing the shadow, untangling complexes, letting go of projections, it takes courage. It means sitting with discomfort, with questions that don't have easy answers. But Jung believed this is where transformation happens. When you release attachment, you're not losing, you're gaining. You're gaining clarity, freedom, the ability to move through life with purpose and grace. You're stepping closer to individuation, to becoming the fullest version of yourself. And this connects so beautifully to what we explored about desire. Desire is the spark that moves you, attachment is what can hold you back. When you channel desire with awareness, as we discussed, it leads you toward growth. When you release attachment, you clear the path for that growth to unfold. Together, these practices, listening to your desires, loosening your attachments, form a roadmap to a life of meaning, a life where you're not just reacting to the world, but creating from your deepest truth. So, here's my challenge to you. Take a moment today to notice where you're holding on too tightly. Ask what it's teaching you about yourself. Be brave enough to face the shadow, to let go of the illusion that anything outside you can make you whole. Because when you do, you step into a power that's yours alone, a power to live fully, love deeply, and shine brightly. The world doesn't need your attachments, it needs your truth. So set them down, and let your soul rise.